Hello and welcome back to Shocks Talks. This is season 2. So, on this channel, I've been talking about UFO history and theories and the nature of reality and scientific theories that explore consciousness. And mainly, we've been going through a timeline of UFO events that are relevant to the current conversation. But season 2 is here and we're going to shift gears. So, we're going to take everything we learned in season 1 and we're just going to set it aside for a moment. And we're going to move from the analytical mind, the rational, Western analytical thinking mind that needs evidence and data and all the rest of that. And we're going to just flow over into the intuitive mind for this entire season. And what it's going to look like is basically I'm going to speak intuitively. I'm going to allow myself to flow from topic to topic intuitively, and I'm going to explore the consciousness piece of this puzzle. So we're going to look at psychic phenomena, maybe a little bit of remote viewing history and some of the stuff we started touching on in season 1 in relation to remote viewing. And we're going to really get into meditation. And then we're going to kind of bring it all back maybe in the following season. We'll see. But this stuff is really important because I think we're at a moment in time where it's very beneficial for more people to be exposed to these concepts so that we can continue to work in our physical matter reality together cooperatively to increase the overall well-being of this planet, of each other. We've got a lot of problems and we have a lot of work to do. And from my perspective, meditation is a great foundation for any kind of spiritual growth and evolution that any individual might want to experience in themselves. And through many people evolving and growing on that individual level, we can see collective change. So we're shifting from aliens to a different kind of woo. And if you're not into that, goodbye. And thank you so much for anything that you did listen to, and enjoy your life. If you want to stick with me, I'm still going to be putting links down below. I'm still going to be connecting you to other resources, and I will be continuing to back whatever I share with a lot of research. And especially in this season, it's more experiential data and a little more subjective data as well. So right now, I'm doing a deep dive on hemisync. And hemisync is a special technique that was developed by Robert Monroe, or Bob Monroe. And he is one of the pioneers of out-of-body explorations in the Western world in recent times. And he has an institute in Virginia called the Monroe Intsitute, which I've never visited, but I'm really excited to check it out one day. One of his students who came to do science with him in the 70s was the young physicist Tom Campbell, who I've talked about on this channel. And Tom and another man called Dennis Menrick were working together with Bob to conduct experiments around these so-called out-of-body experiences and travels. And for Tom, that culminated in this 30-year career's worth of work that he put into his theory of everything, which we call the big toe. He calls it my big toe, and toe stands for theory of everything, and he has kind of a silly sense of humor. So there's a big toe on the cover of that book, like a literal toe, which I was always just like, why, Tom? But whatever, it's funny. And I think part of all of this stuff is that you do have to kind of take it with a grain of salt and a little bit of humor, because the truth is the nature of reality and consciousness has been accessible to people from the beginning of recorded history. And many spiritual cultures have built up around the practices that people discovered to tap into that greater awareness, to tap into the ability to heal the body, to advance in your life in meaningful ways, and sometimes even to access what some Hindus called siddhis or powers. And modern witches talk a lot about psychic abilities, and the government calls it all remote viewing or bilocation. So we're looking at the same thing through many different lenses over time. And right now, I'm in the process of finding my own personal facet of that gem. So, what is my way of accessing this stuff? What is my pathway in? And this channel and this season is going to be a chance for us to have like a psychic study group together. So I really hope you will actually get back to liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting, because not only would I like to build up my audience and, just see who's out there that wants to talk about this stuff, but I want to have some conversations going in the comments, hopefully, because I know that if you're my friend, you've probably talked about this or thought about this or have your own avenue in. I have a really close friend who is syncing up with me right now, and we're messing around with the HemiSync recordings and kind of reporting back to each other and talking about our experiences. And it's really cool and really exciting. And in the tradition that I grew up in, which is yoga, they call that Sangha, which is your spiritual community. And it's basically just the nerds that you get to nerd out with about cool stuff. So we are all Sangha right now here, and we can share about these things if that feels fun. So one of the things that HemiSync is employing to get people into an altered state of consciousness is binaural beats. And essentially what that is tones that play in each ear through headphones. They have to be in headphones. And through these different tones playing in different frequencies, something happens called coherence in your brain, where both hemispheres of your brain actually sync up. And some people say it's similar to the difference between a lamp and a laser. It really focuses the mind. Now, there are many ways that people have reached altered states throughout time. Chanting is one, drumming is one, making sounds, music, tones, movement practices, dancing. Some people use the float tanks and try to just get into a state where you're so comfortable in your body that you don't even feel it anymore. I haven't tried that yet, but I really want to try it. And all of these things are designed to lead us to the same place, which is a place where we can access the larger consciousness system and expand beyond the rule set of physical matter reality and our physical bodies. So in these HemiSync Bob Monroe recordings, which you can find, I'll put links below. You can purchase them from their website if you want to make sure you're getting the real deal. Tom Campbell has his own set of binaural beats that I also use, and you can purchase those from his website. And there are free resources available on YouTube and Spotify too if you search around. But basically, with the HemiSync gateway stuff that I'm tapping into right now, Bob is putting the binaural beats on and talking us through kind of a deep relaxation process. And this is very similar to the yogic tradition that I was brought up in. And what you do in my tradition is you lay down on your back and you send a mental command to different parts of the body, moving your awareness through from top to bottom and telling everything to relax and release and let go. And then you just sort of float in that state of nothingness for a little while. And then you kind of come back into your body, wiggle your fingers and toes, roll your head from side to side, and take a deep breath and come back into your life with fresh energy. And Bob is guiding us through a similar process in these recordings where he has you relax your body, and he does something called resonant tuning. And that's what I was talking about today with my friend who is doing this with me. Because resonant tuning in Bob's recordings is basically all these voices going kind of like, but other other voices come layered in on top of it, and then you're meant to kind of sing along with it. And in yogic practices, as you probably know, there's the Om. So a lot of times there's a whole step-by-step process to get you to the point of meditation, starting with a physical practice of yoga to just work with your body in healthy ways and get everything relaxed and stretched and open and flowing. And then the deep relaxation where you lay down and send a mental command through your body. And there are many different nuances to the various techniques that you can use for this deep relaxation process. And then you go into a deep meditation where your body is completely still and completely relaxed, and your mind is alert and awake. And again, there are so many versions of this out there. And I think that's so cool because what it says is that there is not really one right way, but rather that there are so many pathways that lead to the same place that everyone can tap into. And no matter what your history is with any of this or your religious or spiritual preferences, you can find a technique that works for you if you're interested. And it's pretty cool. So I grew up oming and chanting a lot. And I'm also someone who has dabbled in music over the years. And right now I have like a tiny crystal singing bowl, and I have a sort of xylophone-like instrument which you can hit with a mallet to create a nice resonant bell-like sound. Ringing bells for some people is the way in, making sound with your own voice, or drumming to kind of get you into an altered state of consciousness, all of these things. But today we're going to practice resonant tuning if you want, and we're just going to do it with some sounds. And this is just like day one kind of foundational, let's sync up together and then let's go deeper in as we move through this season, because basically I think that this humming tool or toning or oming or awing or oohing or anything you want to do is such a powerful way to reset the energy. And there's a lot of things going on here. There's the power of vibration and sound as one level of what is being accessed when you hum or tone. There is the break from regular behavior, which does something to your neurons in your brain, which is wonderful because we're very pattern-based creatures and we spend a lot of time stuck in our intense, stress-filled analytical minds or our emotional bodies, and we're reacting to life and we're struggling because life is hard and full of challenge, and we're clenching and our muscles are tightening in ways. And when you breathe and when you hum and when you resonate, it really just kind of loosens all of that up. You can also scream if that's your flavor, which I love to do. I love to access a good screaming session in the car when I'm driving in a place where people aren't going to hear me. So today we're going to tap into the very soft Om-like vibrational practice. And I'm going to give you my tips and tricks, things that have helped me, and then I want to hear yours in the comments. So do you like to make sounds? Do you like to sing with words? Do you like to play an instrument? Do you like to sing along to the radio? Do you like to scream in the car? Do you like to drum? Have you never tried this at all? Like, tell me how it goes if you do. So today we're just going to start by getting our bodies comfortable. So just find a nice seat or lay down if that's what you like, and just bring your awareness into your body and notice. I'm feeling a little tension in my lower back, so I'm wiggling it to tell it, just let go. And noticing my shoulders. A little bit of movement can get you just relaxed enough to sit still. And there's going to be different pitches and vibratory rates that work for us because we have different bodies and different tastes and preferences. So we're going to try a few right now. There's something interesting about a high-pitched sound because it makes me feel very vulnerable and almost silly in a way, but it softens a part of me in another way. And so we're going to start off with just a very high-pitched sound, and we're going to go with an ooh. Why not? And I'm going to drop it down a few notches because that high pitch is a little hard for me to sustain. So I'm going to take a deeper breath and I'm going to try a slightly lower tone. And please feel free to join me and try it with me. You can also pick a different tone that either harmonizes or doesn't harmonize with what I'm doing. And it's just interesting to hear the added layer of sound. So we'll take another deep breath in. And now I'm going to drop down a little bit lower into something that feels a lot more comfortable in my body and is just easy. When I do that one, it feels like it's in my chest more. So it's almost like I can feel the sound moving and resonating in different parts of my body. And that's a really fun thing to play with when you're practicing your own resonant tuning at home, is like just moving the pitch around and seeing what it does and where it is in your body. And it can be very free and it doesn't have to be like spiritual at all. It's an exploration. So, let's try an ah. And if you want, we can try an ohm. The ohm is nice because it ends in a closed sound that can really vibrate for a long time with the lips just lightly touching each other. So it's the same kind of open sound at the beginning and then it just closes off. And I'm going to close my eyes so that I can try to just feel the vibration and just let go of some other sense data that I'm getting through my eyes. So if you want to do it with me, let's take a deep breath in. You can join at the same pitch or whatever pitch you like, or you can keep doing the ooh or the ah or something different. Let's try to resonate together. Thank you if you tried it. And if you didn't, maybe you'll want to try it when you're just driving in the car sometime. It feels really nice. It's pretty amazing how just making a tone with your voice and your body, because it's your body that's vibrating, really resets the energy. It really calms and clears the energy and the mind. And it's a great way to prime your mind for meditation, which is why so many cultures have their own beautiful versions of this all around the globe and from the beginning of time. And no matter who you are or what your culture is or where you come from or how you identify, if you have a voice and if you have the ability to make sound with that voice, this is a wonderful tool for you, and it's free and it's very powerful. So I highly recommend it. I love it. I love how we can use our voices in so many different ways to shift our energy, to heal our bodies, and of course, to express ourselves, like through talking. But sometimes talking can be exhausting. And if you have any little bit of introvert in you, like I do, you need those nonverbal times. And shifting from words to just sounds is a really beautiful way to transition into that nonverbal space. And it's a really cool way to work with your brain. So, that's going to be it for today. This is our little teaser. We're just getting into season 2. It's going to be so much fun. I really hope that you do stick around, and it's going to be different, but I think it'll be cool. And if you know of anyone else who wants to dip their toes in the psychic waters or talk about the nature of reality or talk about, I don't know, there's going to be a bunch of other stuff I don't even want to say right now because I just want to see where it goes. But this is the psychic season. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you for resonating. Keep trying it. Let me know how it goes. We're going to get deeper into all this. And if you want to start practicing meditation techniques with binaural beats, check out the Bob Monroe stuff, check out Tom Campbell, or anything else on the internet that you can find. And let me know what you find, because there's so many cool people out there that are teaching beautiful meditation techniques. There are long recordings with instruments and rain and the sounds of nature that you can find on YouTube. There are drum recordings that you can find. And of course, there's always meditation groups, and I guess there's apps too. I don't really use the meditation apps, but sometimes that works really well for people. And we will talk a little bit more about the places you can go from that beginning launch pad of what Tom calls the 0 point state. So essentially, once you've primed your body and your mind and you've relaxed and let go of all your sense data, and then you're in that kind of emptiness, that's the jumping off point for what people call astral travel or out of body experiences. And I am no expert, I am just a fangirl. I have had some really cool experiences, and I've been trying to meditate all my life, like off and on in different phases of my life. So I am definitely not coming at you as an expert. I'm coming at you as like, we're in school together and this stuff is so fun and so cool. So let's just play around and see what happens. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Links will be below as always.